this is Mrs. Morris, and today I'm going to show you how to do an accelerated reader quiz at home. Most of this video is aimed at Year 5 pupils and their parents who might not be familiar with Accelerated Reader, so I'm going to go on to explain what the program is. However, if you've come in here to just find out where to do your quiz, particularly if you're a pupil in Year 6, 7 and 8 and you've done this before, you don't need to watch the whole thing. I'm just going to say you need to go to the address that you can now see on the screen. You can do that on a tablet, on a laptop, on a PC or on your phone. I've actually done a quiz on the phone and it works really, really well. I want to emphasise how important it is that you go to exactly the right address. Accelerated Reader is a program used in nearly 60,000 schools in 90 different countries. Every single school has got its own address. If you go into Google and just type in Accelerated Reader, it will come up with an address, but it won't be ours. So can you make absolutely sure that you are using our address, and you need to check the number at the end. It's got to say 2038834. If you go anywhere else, your username and password will not work. You've got to go to the right place. It's a bit like having a password for a Steam account and then trying to go into your Xbox using that username and password. It won't work. Okay, so you need to have 2038834 at the end. At the start of the year, you will do a STAR test, and that will give you your reading level. You should be writing that down in your link book. Somewhere around page 25, there's a page for Accelerated Reader. If you haven't recorded your reading level, you need to speak to your guided reading teacher about that, and they will be able to give you a reading level. The other person who would know is the librarian. And you can see that the books in the library all have different coloured dots on the back that tell you the level of that book, and they're arranged in colour order. So you can just go to your section and you will find books that are right for you. And you can see they start with blue, go on to green, orange, red, pink, purple, yellow and turquoise. Most pupils in Year 5 will be reading books which have got either green, orange or red stickers on the back, although we do have some children who are going to be blues and pinks and purples, but most of them fall within the range of 2.0 to 499. We do STAR tests regularly throughout the year to measure your progress. So the first one, as I said, is done at the start of the year. There'll be another STAR test done just before Christmas, and then a third one just before Easter, and a final one in July. And that will tell us how much you've improved over the course of the year. Most children's reading levels will go across more than one colour, so let's see how this works. The first person we're going to look at is Gemma, and Gemma has a reading level of 2.2 to 3.8. And that means she should be reading green and orange books. Now, she's nearly at level 4, so she could also try books with red dots. We don't mind you reading books which are above your level, as long as you're doing well in quizzes. If you do read books above your level and then fail the quizzes quite badly, we probably would want to encourage you to come down a level. But if you're doing well at that high level, that's absolutely fine. Not surprisingly, we often find that children who are reading a book that they really, really enjoy, or is about a subject they really enjoy, can sometimes push themselves and read at that slightly higher level. The next person we're going to look at is Daniel, and Daniel is reading at level 3.5 to 5.2. So you can see that 3.5 is exactly halfway through the orange. Now, Daniel should read books which are either orange, red or pink dots, but if he keeps reading orange books, there's a danger that he's going to be coming in at an average of below his level. So to make sure he's not doing that, he shouldn't just read orange books. He needs to make sure that he's also reading some red and some pink books. So maybe make sure that orange books are only 1 in 2 or 3 books that he chooses. The final child we're going to look at is Lewis. Now, Lewis has got a reading level of 4.8 to 6.3, and you can see that 4.8 actually would still be books in the red with the red dot on it. However, I wouldn't want Lewis to be reading too many red books because it will bring down his average level. So he should really be reading books with either pink or purple dots. He can read some books with red dots, but not too many because it will bring down his level. Finally, I just want to say that in case you were worried, these children are completely made up. The pictures are off the internet. I've made up the names and I've also made up the levels. It was just to use them as an example, just in case you were worried that I was revealing private information. I'm not. Let's start by logging into Accelerator Reader and work our way through together. Okay, let's go. Once you're in the right address, you'll be faced with this screen and you're going to click on I am a student. And you can see here that you'll be asked to enter your username and your password. For Year 5, the password for boys is going to be pink and the password for girls is going to be blue. And yes, that is the right way around. The username will be 20 for Year 5. That's the year that you started at the school. And then the initial of your first name and then your surname. So, for example, if your name was John Smith, your username would be 20J Smith and your password would be pink, and you then click on log in. Once you've logged in, you'll see these three boxes. Star reading is the test that we do at the start of the year and later on to see what your reading level is. Accelerated Reader Articles has got some really useful stuff actually for extra reading practice if you want to do that at home. But the one we're looking at today is the place where you do your quiz, which is that middle one, Accelerator Reader. So we're going to click on that, and that is going to take us to find a book. The first book that we're going to do a quiz on is a book that hopefully everybody will know, and it is, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Okay, and you can see here that it says take a quiz. We're not going to look at the vocabulary, we're going to take a quiz. We're going to just click on that. Now, it doesn't matter which one you press out of these three. I'm going to say I read it by myself. You can do a quiz no matter how you did it. Then I'm going to start my quiz at the bottom. And because it's a short book, it's only got 5 questions, okay? So, when did the tiny and hungry caterpillar pop out of the egg? And I'm going to say that was on Sunday morning. On Thursday, the hungry caterpillar ate through 4 strawberries. Next. The caterpillar felt much better after he ate 1 nice green leaf. Next. And what did the fat caterpillar build? Question 4. A small house called a cocoon. Next. And when the caterpillar pushed his way out of the cocoon, he was a beautiful butterfly. So I hope I got all of those answers right. How did you like the book? Does not affect your score, but you have to do this screen before you can move on. I'm going to say it's fantastic. I'm giving it 4 stars, and I'm going on to next. I'm going to see my score in a minute, and I got 5 out of 5. Brilliant. I can then take a vocabulary quiz if I want to. It's not always there, and then I'm going to find my next book. There are 3 things that you're trying to achieve in your quizzes. You need to get 85% of the questions accurate, but that's an average. And what that means is that if you've done a quiz on a book and it's got 10 questions, if you get 8 of those right, the next time you do a quiz with 10 questions, you need to get 9 right, and that will give you an average. Shorter books tend to have only 5 questions, and longer books might have 20 or even 30 for very long books. So we're looking for an average of 85%. Secondly, the books need to be at your level or higher. Don't read below your level. If it's only very slightly below your level, say your lower book level was something like 3.5, and you were reading a book at 3.4, I wouldn't be too worried about that. But make sure that you keep books at your level. And the last one is that you need to get 100% of your target by the end of each half term. Those are the 3 things that you're aiming at. Now, your target is going to be different from other people's target. The number of points that you need to achieve will depend on your reading level. Now, every child has got a different target. If you are somebody who likes reading and does a lot of it and finds it very easy, you will be expected to get more points than somebody who maybe finds reading more of a challenge. What I'm looking at is not whether you have got more points than other children in your class or in the school. I'm looking to see if you've achieved your personal target. And what that means is that every single child at Brooklands can be a top reader, because it's about you achieving 100% of your personal target. The question I'm often asked is, if you look something up while you're doing the quiz, is that cheating? And the answer is no, it's not. You should try to do the quiz as soon as possible after finishing your book. But if you have forgotten something, feel free to skim through it to locate that little bit of information. Some schools don't allow that because they say it is cheating and that you should remember the book. Here at Brooklands, we feel that you're just practicing a skill called skimming and scanning, which is when you whiz with your eyes through a book quickly to find information. That's actually a higher level skill, and I'm more than happy for children to do that. Please don't do it instead of reading the book. It will actually take you an awfully long time. It is better to read the book, and you need to make sure that you've read the book first. But if you have read it, more than happy for you to go back in and find the odd bit of information that you can't quite remember. Lots of people ask, can I read a book from home? And the answer is yes, of course you can. You just need to check that the book is an accelerated reader and also that it's at the right level for you. So there are 2 places you can do that. One of them is your usual accelerated reader account. You just go in there, type in the name of the book and see if it's there. Obviously don't start the quiz until you've finished reading the book. The other place you can do it is this screen here, the Accelerated Reader Book Finder. So you just type in AR Book Finder or Accelerated Reader Book Find into Google or your favourite search engine, and it will bring up this site here. You don't need to log in, you don't need a username, you don't need to give it your email address or anything like that. It will ask you if you're a teacher or a pupil or a parent, and you just type in appropriately, but it's just recording that information. It doesn't ask you who you are. And once you're in here, you can do a quick search on the book and it will come up, and that will give you also the quiz number. There are also other things that you can look at, for example, collections that will tell you the sorts of books that other children are reading, which might be of interest to you. Okay, but absolutely fine to read books from home, and in fact we would encourage that. If there's anything you're not sure about, speak to your guided reading teacher who will either be able to help you or be able to find the information for you. And also, very important, let your teacher know if you can't do quizzes at home for any reason, because we will make sure that we provide you with the facilities to do that at school. Thank you very much for listening today.